Okay, this is part two. My memory was getting full. So to continue, uh, the dog was the catalyst for us to get kicked out of there, and I'm so glad that we did. And he called the police. We didn't have any proof of mail, so we couldn't prove that we legally lived there, even though we had paid rent. So we were there for like 2 weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks, and got the boot. So that was how I got tried to get recruited by the Satanists. And I remember them making a point. They were like talking about my eye, and they said something about the master. He really, I caught. It was like they were talking, but they made it enough to where I could hear it. And I remember he was saying something like, "The master did a lot of work on this one," or something like that. It was free. It was freaky. I was like, guys, no, I'm a Christian. I may not be a good Christian, and I've got a lot to work on, but nonetheless, my point is I'm not that. So go back to 2020. Patrick was trying to recruit me. He said that he had family in the Department of Defense, and I was like, who do you have? And he wouldn't tell me who was in the Department of Defense, but he had pictures with him in HRC, and I was like, who are you? Like, and why are you coming to me? And I told him, I was like, look, I've been following this Q thing. Like, this thing, this, if it shows all kind of incriminating and damning things that she's done, that, and I was like, why are you approaching me? And I never understood it until I'm really figuring it out now. So, but yeah, he was trying to like recruit me, and he said something about my brain. But then we've kind of, I had to get away from him. So one night I left him after he was trying to drive me around, trying to find some place that I apparently had gone like within a year or two before to procure drugs in Atlanta. And I was like, dude, I don't even remember. He's like, it's somewhere around. He was trying to tell me where to go. I'm like, dude, I don't even know what you're talking about, where we're at. And so I finally had enough of it. I was like, dude, I'm leaving. And so the next morning, I remember kind of coming to, and I was like in this yard, like I blacked out, I guess. And I came to in this yard, and like the police came, and like they were like trying to arrest me, I guess, for trespassing, but they didn't arrest me. And so Patrick said something about like he paid $50,000 to a judge to prevent me from getting arrested. Because when they found me, I had a prescription of Xanax, and within that prescription of Xanax, Patrick had given me some of a different kind of Xanax, a higher milligram, and I had them both in the same bottle. And yeah, I told the officer, it's just like, hey, that's what I prescribed, and I just keep them both in one bottle to save space in my pocket, and when I'm carrying the pill bottle. And so they let me go, and so I kept I went on my merry way. And then later on, it's like I don't know if I had a seizure. I passed out, and while I passed out, I had this nice leather jacket on, and this guy, he stole it from me while I was having a seizure and incapacitated. And I woke up in the hospital, and later on I found out that Patrick had been following me via some kind of satellite, and that the person that had done this to me, he went and got them, and Lord knows what happened with them. I hope that they are still alive, but the way that he referenced it didn't sound like they were in a good spot. So I'm sorry for whoever it was trying to steal my jacket off of me while I was having a seizure. But yeah, he's got some pull. So then I ended up going back to Kansas City, and he was talking about there's a helipad that he told me to go, and he would send a helicopter. And I was like, bro, I don't feel comfortable with that. And I didn't follow through. Then he wanted me to write this letter talking about a family reunion that was going to be in Perry, Georgia. He said that I had to use like the number 54 in it and a couple other things I can't recall at this time. It was very bizarre. And he wanted my mom to write a letter too. Like it was weird. and we were going to have this big family reunion in Perry, Georgia. So that happened. I sent the letter. I guess probably in hindsight, I probably shouldn't, because now that seems like that was some kind of maybe initiation. I don't know. I feel like they initiated me into some sort of their club, and I didn't even realize it. So I kind of lost touch with him after being just freaked out. And I remember, let's see, we'll go ahead and go forward. 2020, COVID happened, and then the election. And I remember that was the most defeated I felt when they called it for Biden, like the day or two after, when it finally settled down. I was so stoked that Trump was gonna win in landslide, and that he was going against Biden, and like it was in the bag, like he had it. And then that happened, and yeah, I remember being extremely disappointed and wondering what was going to happen. And I was believing all the rumors on the internet about, hey, they were going to do this and that, and martial law. And so, or no, not martial law. The some sort of military act. I can't think of it off the top of my head. But so 2021, the calendar turns over, and I get on this dating app called Bumble. I'm sure you're familiar with. And I met this girl named Denitria. And Denitria and I, hit it off. And little did I know, that was a honeypot. That was a trap. And I met up with her. The first date we had was at an escape room. And right off the bat, it felt like she was testing me. I don't know. It was weird. And we did the escape room, and I had a really good time. And I did enjoy her presence, and had fun with her. Then she was really adamant about going to shoot archery. She wanted me to go shoot a bow and arrow. And I was like, that just seems a little weird. And then I went over to her house. I remember celebrating Valentine's Day with her. And it was the time after that, I went over there and I got messed up on and intoxicated. And I was on methamphetamine. And it was during this time that I felt like she was doing like weird. First off, she told me she was working with first generation technology, and that caught my eye and ear. I was like, what is this? And she wouldn't really elaborate. And she would always have me try to watch like these videos online. And there was a show in particular, Handmaid's Tale. She wanted me to watch that. And I did watch a little bit, but it didn't click in my head at the time what I know now. And that what Patrick had given me, that substance, was some sort of, I don't know, mechanical agent is what I can best describe it. It was that helped bind artificial intelligence to human consciousness. And so I didn't know that at the time, and I just really realized, and putting things together, that this year in 2023, that that's what that was. And let's see. All right, so with Denitria, I had she decided to break up with me because I wasn't, I guess, going along with what she was wanting me to do. And like, she really didn't emphasize the role that I had, or else, man, things would have been a lot different. And she was like, she made this comment, because she said she was a writer, and she made this comment about, well, we got to do like a rewrite. And we broke up, and I was like, what are you talking about, a rewrite? And so I remember leaving her apartment, going back to my place. I remember when I tried to order an Uber, there was something going on where I couldn't directly be picked up. I had to walk away. So I went down, and I left, came back home, and yeah. So I'm losing my place here on what. And I thought that Elon Musk, she was like talking to him on the computer, and I did not believe my eyes, and I was like, "There's no way." And she denied it. She was like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And like, I didn't even really believe it, but I mean, when you see something, when you experience it with your own eyes and ears, you know, but everyone denies it, you start to question how you think. Um, let's see. So that happens. We break up, and then 21, 22 goes by, comes and goes, and I'd kind of gotten just really lost interest in trying and chasing my tail in the truth movement, and I'd kind of stepped away at that point in time, and all during this, I felt like I'd become Q, and I kept asking people online, like, dude, what do I need to do? What is it? Like, do I need to post on 4chan or what? It was 8kun at that time, or had become that, and no one would really ever answer my question. And I asked on all kind of platforms and everything, and then I did attempt to post on there, and I made like a post, but I don't even think I put it in the right place, and it took me forever to try to figure out the what do you call it? Where the CAPTCHA. I could not get the CAPTCHA with my eyesight. It's something I don't know. And or during this time period, that's when I realized and noticed, like, I felt like the television was communicating with me. I know how crazy that sounds. It felt like schizophrenia, but it was like controlled schizophrenia. And something happened with the computer screens. I don't know. It seemed like one would go on and off. You know how there's most people have like two screens. I correlated each screen with each eye, and I realized, like, my right eye, I'm blind. Everybody else, see out of both eyes, and my good eye, I had a corneal ulcer, so the vision in it is split in two. So like, I have really unique vision, and I felt like a switch was flipped at some point in time, and I didn't get it didn't take to me, and so I like felt like I was on a different frequency than everybody else, like a different wavelength than what everyone else was experiencing. And then so that continues to go on, and I question it, and then I start noticing things, but it's so unbelievable. And I started telling like my family, and I mean, they just didn't know what to say. They didn't know. They thought, I mean, it sounds crazy, and I know how this sounds. This sounds crazy. I mean, that's why I'm saying, if I end up dead, missing, or in jail on crazy bogus charges, there might be some truth to my story. So let's see. From there, no, I'm jumping around. I apologize. Let's see, 22. So that was continuing. So this year is when I started like kind of figuring things out, like the AI part, and I was figuring out that puzzle piece, that like somehow I was feeding the AI, and that I was Q, and I am in this trap, so to speak, and no one will let me out. No one will listen to me. I keep asking everybody, and people say I have all this money, and I do not. I don't even know. I had like less than $9 in my bank account last time I checked, but then I keep getting locked out of that too. So I'm like, what's really going on there? And yeah, I need to let y'all know like what's going on. And I just feel like my consciousness is playing all these AI roles online that I didn't even know about, and people are taking advantage of it. And like, even with music, I feel like my consciousness can even feed into that with this technology. It's so unbelievable. It's taken me a while to kind of accept like what's going on. And I'm forgetting stuff I need to recall. Let's see. But yes. Oh, and back to 21. Somebody thought I was John McCreevy on Above Top Secret, that website. And I was like, I'm not. I'm flattered that you would think that, but I'm just a regular Joe Schmo. And yeah, so January 6th, we'll go to that. I watched it on TV. I didn't go. Thank the Lord. I thought that was a trap. I should have stuck with my instinct with the Bumble thing, but that wasn't the case. And let's see. Also, at some point in time, I felt like I got this airdrop on Twitter, and I saw like it was